fundamental must-haves from a leadership perspective, right? So we're not just like handing culture off to somebody, which we can talk about that whole process, but from leaders to make sure that when they're building cultures where people can thrive. And I'm thinking like outside of the everyone needs to feel comfortable and have psychological safety. We know those things and they are super important. So but I don't want you to feel like you have to always handle the big rocks. I'd actually be kind of curious to hear from each of you, given you talk with so many different types of people and you engage around how culture is being built through the eyes of and experiences of so many people, given your current roles. What do you think are some of the things that are like the less obvious and important pieces to the foundation to make sure that we're building places where people feel like they can show up?
I was just talking to Zach about this not long ago. Self-directed opportunities for connection. This was something that I struggled with in my work at Farwell, was trying to create the right systems and the right processes so that individuals that worked at the company didn't feel like it was reliant on the company itself to create the pathways for them to find deeper connection and community and career within the organization. Not to say that, it absolves the employer of any and all responsibilities to do those things, but that was always like a big ticket item for myself and for the organization. And I don't think it's much different than how Zach and I also try and approach the culture of CultureCon and the programming that we put together. It's still our responsibility to create enough scaffolding in the container so that meaningful connections can happen. But we also don't want to be seen as the only catalyst to like make those connections happen. That's part of the beauty of the conference, is feeling like, I don't know if you felt it, Natasha, but sometimes just like feels like universal synchronicities are happening because of opportunities that you take yourself to find these deeper connections. So that's the big one that comes to mind for me is, yeah, more self-directed opportunities for connection.
Kind of on that note, and Nick, you kind of touched on this at the start of the episode, but having trust, and I know that's kind of like a big word, but trust is going to create the connections that Nick is talking about. As a leader, you're giving your team autonomy, and that autonomy is like, hey, I trust you to do this, whether it's culture building or something else at the organization. You feel like you're empowered, and I think a lot of people need that to create trust, which is going to create connection, and then ultimately is going to create that culture that people need to thrive in.